Hello and welcome to the morning sports briefing here on Sunday, the 24th of January. In the news today, we have the cricket with Super Smash action, up at Eden Park yesterday. We'll also bring up to speed with the Sri Lanka versus England in their second test. Over in the NBA, there were a whole bunch of games yesterday, and NBL basketball action happening in Australia as well. In the Prada Cup, we know who is making it to the finals in an exciting race yesterday. A couple of games in the A-League, as well as a game in the ISPS Handa Premiership overnight. And also the G.J. Gardner Beach Tour is having their Northland Slam this weekend. Over to the G.J. Gardner Beach Tour, and that's the first day yesterday. You've got to say it's interesting in the women's competition where they've been mixing up their partnerships. So Tilly, who normally plays with Pooley, is matched up with Olivia MacDonald. Kerwin is with Zimmerman, and Pooley is with Fitzy. So they've all been mixing it up, and it'll be interesting to see how that one pans out on the finals today. It's not the clearest set of easiest to read the results, but but we'll bring it up to date tomorrow with how the finals day goes with that one. Over in the ISPS Handa Premiership, and just the one game yesterday. With Waitakere United taking on Canterbury United, finished as a 3-all draw in that one. Today we have three more games. The Hamilton Wanderers taking on Hawke's Bay United, Eastern Suburbs hosting Auckland City, and Team Wellington against Wellington Phoenix. So Derby Day in that one. There at the end there with some of the top four teams. In Auckland first against Eastern Suburbs in fourth will be a cracking game, for example, today, you'd think. Over in the A-League, and it was raining goals as Western United beat Perth Glory 5-4 in that one for their first victory of the season. So they'll be happy with that one, if perhaps not with some of their defence. That sees them into seventh place currently. Also, Adelaide United beat Melbourne Victory 1-0 to climb up into second place in the table, just behind Central Coast Mariners in that one. Today sees Wellington Phoenix host the Newcastle Jets in a bottom of the table clash. Phoenix currently in 10th, and Newcastle Jets with 4 losses from their 4 games in 12th place currently. So important for both those sides to try and get a victory to kickstart their season. Let's be honest there. Over in the Prada Cup, and boy oh boy, it was a cracking race yesterday between Ineos Team UK and Luna Rosa, with the 9 lead changes during the race, with Britain just holding off to win that one. Their Team Ineos UK winning that one there. So that means that Team Ineos UK go straight through to the final and now have 3 weeks to prepare themselves for that. Luna Rosa will be facing off against America Magic in the semi-finals, kicking off on the 29th of January. That means that there was supposed to be a race today between Luna Rosa and Ineos Team UK, but Ineos Team UK said, look, with winds of 20 knots, being forecast, that it is just not worth risking their boat under those conditions, and that there's a risk reward level when you get up to 20 knots with these boats, and they've decided that they won't be racing it today because of that being a dead rubber. American Magic have confirmed that they will be on the start line they'll be back. They're on course to be on the start line for the semi-finals that do begin on Friday. So let's hope that they can make it back. We have some more racing in the Prada Cup. Over in the NBA, and I say there were 11 games yesterday. Some of the key ones we saw, the 76ers beat the Celtics 122-110. Celtics previously top of their conference now have slipped back a little bit. The Raptors beat the Heat 101-81 as well. Again, the Heat, another one of the top tables, suffering there. But the Clippers had a good result, beating the Thunder 120-106. That means 76ers top the Eastern Conference now. A couple of games ahead of the Bucks and Pacers, and the Celtics have slipped back to fourth in that one. Over on the Western Conference, the Clippers and the Lakers top the table with 12 wins and 4 losses, closely followed by the Jazz, still on 11 wins and 4 losses. So the Jazz can catch up with them. The Suns a bit further back on 8 wins. So yes, I got some catching up to do there for the Suns in 4th place. Today, we see the Timberwolves versus the Pelicans at 2 p.m. So yes, Steven Adams' team in action there. So do catch that one. Other top teams, the Jazz playing the Warriors. That'll be a crack. That's an important game for the Jazz there. And the Pistons against the 76ers, as well as the Bulls versus the Lakers. So some good matchups today in the NBA. Over in the NBL, and the Taipans took on the Kings yesterday, with the Kings coming out on top 99-91 in that one. Leading the way for the Kings was Jarrell Martin with a double-double, 11 rebounds and 22 points. Casper Ware also got the 22 points in that one. And the Taipans were led by Cameron Oliver with 27 points and 10 rebounds, a double-double for him as well. But yeah, they just came up short against the Kings in that one. That means the Hawks are top of the table with 3 wins from their 3 games. Melbourne United also have won all their games, but just had 1 game so far. Sits in second in that one. In the Breakers, just that 1 game so far, and they've lost. The Wildcats still have not started their season yet. They will be in action today against Southeast Melbourne Phoenix at 7 p.m. Over in the cricket and in the test match between Sri Lanka and England, Sri Lanka were all bowled out for 381. A real strange scorecard with the 6 batsmen in single figures. Admittedly, Fernando was not out at the end there, but the batsman that did made big runs. So Thurman with 43 was the sort of the lowest score that was in double figures. Angelo Matthews with 110, Dikwala with 92, as really led the way, with Pereira with 67 and Charindale with 52 also chipping in. James Anderson was the best of the English bowlers with 6 wickets for 40 runs. Really, with the economy rate of 1.38, really had some control, whereas the other batsmen were gave away more runs. Sri Lanka made a fantastic start again, bowling against the England side, getting out Dom Sibley and Zach Crawley, the 2 openers, for just 5 runs. Johnny Bairstow and Joe Root, though, steadied things as they reached 98 for 2. And that's 93 runs in that stand so far. Joe Root leading the way with 67 from just 77 balls. Johnny Bairstow with 24 in that one. Obviously, a long way to go in that test match, but Sri Lanka do have the possibility, or in a good position there, if they can get some early wickets. Over in the Super Smash, and I was up at Eden Park for the 2 games yesterday. Auckland Hearts taking on Central Hinds. Auckland Hearts went into bat first and posted a total of 120. Whilst Perkins was there, they looked good to post a good score with her 34th, just 37 balls. But once she was out, it sort of took some of the wind out of their sails. Huddleston, though, with 37 from 32, not out at the end of the innings there, really did help push things along in that one. Over to Central Hinds then came in, and Watkin, the captain, really played a captain's innings with 7 4s and 3 6s. She hit 68 off just 48 balls to lead her side home with over 3 overs to spare. Dodd at the Wiki Dodd at the other end scored 49 off 45 balls, also hitting 5 4s and a 6. And with those two in action in that form, they cruised home in that one. Auckland's fielding, to be fair, to be honest, could have been better. Watkin, I think, was dropped 3 times in that innings, and really, she should not have. They should have got her out earlier than that. And with her power hitting, there was it was always a total they would be able to chase down. I had a good interview with Van Ventner, where we talked about the how their bowlers went, and then how they thought that they restricted Auckland quite well. 140 was about probably a par score on there, and happy with that their second win of the season for the Central Hinds. You can catch that interview over on our Facebook page. Just search for New Zealand Sports Radio on Facebook to get that. Don't forget, we come to you live with this morning sports briefing on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, as well as putting the recordings out as a podcast as well, so you can listen to us on your commute to work, or doing the gardening, or even the cleaning around the house. Then we had the men's game. The Auckland Aces coming into this off the back of losing all their games so far, and the Central Stags with the opportunity to go top of the table. The Auckland Aces were put in to bat, and Sualia at the top of the innings really set the tone with 21 off just 13 balls. Martin Gupsall still finding form a bit hard, was striking the ball well, but finding the fielders more than the gaps. But he did hit 2 6s for his 29. But Chapman and O'Donnell, you've got to say, were the people that powered this innings. 73 off 34 balls for Chapman, and O'Donnell 61 off his 34 balls. Really sped Auckland Aces along to 199 off their 20 overs. A couple of wickets in the last 2 balls really made it made that they really the fact they lost 6 wickets really was not perhaps an indication of where they were at. The Central Stags then came in and we're always slightly behind the rate. Delport really helped things by getting 2 wickets in his first over, including a wonder catch by Guptill on the boundary. So you'll probably have seen that on clips on the old Twitter and Facebook. But yes, a really good catch on the boundary there. Whilst Bruce was in, particularly when he was with Young, Bruce Young scored 37 off 29 balls, and Bruce 52 off 35. The run chase was on, but once Turbrak had removed Bruce, it always looked like being too much for the Central Stags. They were in touch, and it was a nervous last couple of overs, but the Aces saw it home with the Central Stags making 182 off 7, with the loss of 7 wickets, meaning a 17-run win for the Aces. The Aces would have been confident at the half-time because there's only 4 scores over 200, except 3 of those have been made by the Central Stags, and 2 of them have been against the Auckland Aces. So whilst that was a very good total by the Aces, there would have been some nervousness or definitely awareness that the game was not won at the break. And I had a chat with Delport afterwards, and we talked about that. With 2 runouts and that wonder catch, you got to say it was a real team effort in the field to restrict the Central Stags beneath that total. Yeah, he really, we had a good chat. Afterwards, they were Delport's best ever T20 figures. So 28 runs for 2 wickets off his 4 overs. So well done to him. You have now started the day the best way, up to speed with all of the important sports news. Have a wonderful Sunday, folks. I'll be back tomorrow morning with the morning sports briefing.